without further ado, starting record, we will get into our recap. We're at session 38, and we stopped right in the middle, or right after an altercation. But let's go back. The party, reeling from the news of both Beledros's evil plan and Jadzie's untimely death, regrouped in Garrett's dive bar to determine their next course of action. The topics ranged from, should we let Beledros and Jojira just duke it out in the Oracle battle? Macklin suggested maybe it'd be worth using a wish spell to get rid of the auric tattoos. Indigo suggested using the negative plane monsters to protect the whole campus, not just Witherbloom campus. Macklin suggested turning the campus against Beledros. Maybe Shushu would give them some screen time. However, Indigo cautioned that it might put Hattie in danger, and Hattie lamented that the leadership was unlikely to intervene no matter what. McGruber pointed out, McGruber pointed out that the exception to the rule is the protection of the campus, and maybe the leadership will get involved if you can create a good enough case for it. And finally, Hattie considered using her spell to bring her and Delta's parents back together, but left without a clear decision.
Yeah, maybe that can wait.
Without a resolution, the party responded to an invite from Dean Pelanistra. She began by commenting on Ovi's return to his Kalashar form and speculated that the power needed to reverse his transformation could also be used to dispel the magic of their auric tattoos, if that's something they would be interested in. The conversation began with a serious discussion of Beledros's master plan, a revelation that disturbed but didn't altogether surprise Pelanistra. It turned quickly to the evaluation of the threat posed by the approaching Demigoth Titan. Pelanistra shared how the Titan might be the more imminent threat, but without a plan to neutralize Beledros, it'd only be a matter of time before she found another way to claim Strixhaven as her own. The other threat Pelanistra outlined was the process of nominating a new oracle. She broke down the process about how the student body would be voting on a candidate to present to the Founder Dragons when they came to campus, which is the only time and purpose for which they would all make the trek. Each school, minus Prismari, would present a candidate, and she speculated that the candidates would likely be Jojira, so old Geordie, 40-year-old Geordie, Contraption, Casimir, and Osmagod, with Casimir being the clear frontrunner. The party cautiously suggested that they might have the power to release Pelanistra from her own auric tattoo constraints, which would then allow her to run, which would be an ideal challenge to both Jojira and Casimir, and she said she would seriously consider it. The party decided to finish their quest to reunite the items of the Cetera Opus, but by working with the Sphinx Dean Bectus to go back to the year 2499 and claim the Staff of Lorehold from the Oracle Kolema. Bectus warned that getting into the past she could do if she was near a snarl, but she could not, contrary to what she originally postulated, bring them back. The party realized they would have to find a being powerful enough to send them back or use one of their wish spells to time travel back to the present. Bectus used the snarl in the Lorehold Cabin 1247, the lair of Dean Grimhilda, to send them back, and upon their arrival they entered a conversation between the Oracle and 25-year-old Geordie, who was appealing for help with his family's plight. Kolema firmly refused to travel to the future to offer assistance, which incensed a yet again rebuffed Geordie, who lost it and attacked. The party helped defend Kolema, and Geordie time-jumped away before the battle went too far. The battle has subsided, and the party is ready to speak to the Oracle Kolema. So here we are with the things. You are all in. There's the Oracle Kolema.
It's a cool looking guy.
Yes. You see the old gentleman again. You'll remember in the room. It's far less finished and refined than it is 400 years in the future. So rooms aren't necessarily constructed. There are a number of these ruin grinders around that are kind of carving out the space. You'll remember y'all used a number of different ways to slow Geordie down. And in some ways, Garrett actually may have overstepped his bounds and violated his agreement with the Auric to get Kolema out of harm's way. But given that it wasn't a direct order from Geordi, it was more Geordi's intent, it hurt him badly but did not kill him. The Oracle Kolema, who you'll remember was kind of yanked away before all these fireballs went off, he clears the room. You see the dust begin to settle as things go quiet. And he turns around after a moment and looks at the five of you. He hasn't seen Hattie and Chessie around the side wall. And you see a wise but stern and clearly surprisingly uninformed kind of look on his face. And he says, "Who are you? And why are you here?"
Oracle Kolema. I'm the Gruber Lorehold student from 2849. Sent here by the current Dean of Order, Dean Vectis. Just going to come out straight with it. We're trying to assemble the Strateris Opus. The campus is in peril of danger. Like we're freshmen and we're what they got.
Surprise.
Those are some outlandish claims.
Yeah.
The Dean, 400 years from now, sent you back to claim the staff. Why would you need to come back here to do such a thing?
We were told time locked it to prevent the guy who just came being able to get a hold of it. We don't know if you've done that yet. Obviously, it sounds like you haven't, but
You see him just taking all of this in as he's trying to read any of you to see if is this a joke? Like this just went from 0 to 60, right? He just got packed. He realizes that, as Geordi's behavior was kind of strange, Geordi claimed to be from the future, so here he is encountering all of a sudden all of this time travel. So he has a lot of evidence to support your claim. So make a persuasion roll with advantage.
Would it help if we added up that fucking guy?
Alright, persuasion.
He just came in here and...
Ooh!
Alright, that's pretty good.
23.
23. MacGruber.
Yes.
He to make sure he remembers your name. The Statera Opus is a massively, he looks at the staff that he's holding, it's a massively powerful collection of items.
We have a Demigoth Titan on the way.
You see a kind of confusion on his face, like, what's that?
Oh, is this a new thing? Help.
It's like a world-eating entity that feeds on suffering, and it's unsatiable in the amount of souls it will consume.
It's a good description of it.
And you have evidence to believe that it is on its way to destroy your Strixhaven.
Strixhaven, yes.
I've seen it moving towards Strixhaven.
And
Before I got
why,
there.
what being would have done such a thing to bring a beast to Arcavios?
I look to you and I say, do I tell him it's my
That's
grandma?
up to you.
Yeah.
They already fight, right?
What's this dude gonna
Well, I don't
travel
know.
into the future with us?
I don't know. This is all
I was
through my
gonna say
eyes right
something
now.
in the present, Del.
My grandma, Bellatrix, Witherbloom.
Bellatrix
Yeah.
Witherbloom, one of the founder dragons.
Correct.
That's
Turns
great
out she's
Bella.
not nice.
Well, that's certainly a lot to take in. You believe she means to destroy all of Strixhaven.
She would like to be Oracle?
I think she wants to reset. She is fatigued by the...
She doesn't like the trajectory of where school is going, so she would like to...
reset.
Well, so point above the table, you'll remember the oracle just prior to Kolema was Kuldana Melchizedek, she was the Silver Quill Oracle who made the deal with the Hells.
Yes.
And she was this is fairly recent that all of these restrictions on involvement from the leadership, all of this has just been implemented.
Oh, okay.
So he's right at the beginning of this. This
Okay.
hasn't been since forever, since they invited
So it's like-
demonic, hellish creatures to be teachers, whatever. They had to put this in place, right?
Okay.
So, with that knowledge,
Okay. Yeah. So, the pact with the Hells over the next 350 years wears on her, and she was trying to break out of that.
So, should I give you this staff, which, if I understand it correctly, doesn't exist in your time? The history books would say that I time lock it
As
into
far
the
as
present
we know,
time.
As we know.
Correct.
What will you do with it?
I mean, we're trying to, as naive as it sounds, stand up against a demigod titan and a time-traveling entity that's killing every oracle.
Steve Silvercliff.
And he looks at you knowingly. He's like, the young man that was just here.
Yeah, he kills Kalman. Well, yeah, he kills the oracle after you, and probably the one after that.
You'll remember that in the history books, Kolema was attacked, but was not successfully killed by some mysterious assassin. So, you all are at the part of the history book.
In parentheses, tap back.
Well, if the Statera Opus, surprising little is known about the Statera Opus to the general public, but I'm afraid this staff is fairly mundane unless you have the other pieces.
We've got a couple. We're working on it. Indigo here has been in the library day and night.
She blinks.
And you believe you can assemble all of these pieces?
Yeah, if it means saving all of Strixhaven,
And what loyalty do you have to Strixhaven?
I'm a descendant of Anazir Calandrix.
Belladros.
We should have led with that. Yeah, we're all...
You're all descendants.
We're cousins.
Yeah, Prismari.
yeah.
That's my sister,
Bellamont
Patty
is...
Witherbloom. We were separated at birth. That's fine.
Colin was like, cool, cool, cool. I appreciate that extra information.
Yeah.
It has been my experience, and it is a mark of history, which is a prized subject in our school of Lorehold, that the university is nearly always in some kind of danger. What you are saying, though, the destruction of the entire campus, initiated by one of the founders themselves, is a very serious allegation. But you are not alone, that Belladros has lived with malcontent for millennia. And the oracles and those of us in the know have always speculated what she would do time and time again as her presence has been diminished and her voice through an oracle has always been rejected. I will give you the staff on one condition. That you bring it back to me at this exact time and allow me to do what is necessary to keep this and keep the history books as close as they can to your time.
Yeah,
Fair.
Yeah, very smart.
Now, we can talk about these logistics all we want, but I assume you have a way to return to your time?
A way to make it easier for us?
Yeah.
Chronomancy is in its infancy, if that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find creatures such as the Androsphinx who can, maybe go 10 years forward and backwards, but Sphinx are incredibly hard to find. There's none that I know of on Arcavios, and there's no spell that can transport you that far away. What was your plan?
We were hoping to possibly use a wish spell. There in our time in this chamber, there's a snarl.
No, it still is. It's
It's
behind.
still there?
It's behind the door where
Okay.
Hattie and Chessie are.
Okay.
Yeah, who I think have come out, but he knows that it's there.
Okay, so we're trying to...
Wish spells are quite powerful magic. With all due respect, freshmen, I hardly believe have the skills to.
If you've seen what we've done, you would.
It's kind of It's kind of innate in us.
We're descendants from quite powerful dragons.
Okay.
We're still getting a hold of it ourselves, but I've seen, and I point to Ovi and is like, this man here has performed a witch spell in the last week. We didn't think it was possible until he did it. Oh, this dude's 500 years ago. What's he going to do?
Just change the course of history.
You know that the wish spell is forbidden on Strixhaven campus.
It's a technicality.
Yes.
The rules don't fucking apply to us.
That's a good point. Like, would you have like a potion or a scroll that could help us instead?
What I have is a staff, which is what I understand that you need.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
I will say the wish spell and the moratorium on its use also has to be accused and convicted. So I think I will leave you all here to continue to mull over your situation. The staff of Lorehold, since you've said you're a Lorehold student, he's going to look at you and be like, I will see you shortly.
Yeah, I take it very somberly and just nod.
He waves his hand and a scroll pops out kind of floating in front of him, and he begins to wiggle his hands, and you see this writing from like 4 or 5 different places on the page start to materialize, and you see him begin to draft a magic scroll. And it at the end of it, he puts this flourish on it. It glows blue and then rolls itself up, ties itself with a ribbon. He says, you don't have to come back, but when you are finished, this spell will return the staff to me. And it's an altered Galder's Speedy Courier, which basically says you can put something in a box, magic, or you do the spell, a box opens, you put something in it, close it, and then it gets sent to its owner. And he is able to say, this will return it to me.
Noted.
And then he turns around and walks away, leaving you all in the cavern.
All right, guys, let's get the hell out of here.
So I got the staff. I can burn the old rat-a-tat-tui on my forehead, and
Wait, if we have the stuff, do we need to?
I don't think the staff will.
If you want to add that to your inventory, it's called the Vide Prius.
I don't
Oh my gosh.
V-I-D-E
If you can't spell algebra, it might
P-R-I-U-S.
Something.
Did I spell it right? Is it the Vide?
Oh,
It's the Vide
Sounded
Prius,
right,
right?
yeah. Sounded right.
Just wait. I was not in the management.
Trying to
Do
memorize.
we know what this staff does?
Well, that's what I'm trying to
Okay.
look up.
Oh,
There it is. Equipment. Look at. Okay, what's done? Activated. So we can scrap
You can read it to everybody.
All right,
Unless
so-
you
Yeah.
just.
Continue.
All right,
Being
so
sus over here.
once you're attuned, you get to you create a scrying window into the past. It lasts for a minute. You view your current location in the past. More accurate of a time you guess, the better the scry window is.
So you basically look at it as a kind of a portal, and you can kind of look around and see what was happening at that exact moment in that location at any point. And at a point in the past, you choose when you activate its magic.
All right.
Yeah, and then the
Okay.
scrying window is a still. It's not like you get to watch the scene transpire.
Right. It's like a picture.
This sounds fucked.
You can only use it once per dawn.
It's going to be like, oh, it happened at 11:10 and you asked to go back to 11:05. Sorry.
No, the example it gives for being vague is a year. So I bet you if you said like a week or a day, you're
like 2020.
You're starting to dial it in pretty tight.
I don't know. My God, Yimmy in the sky seems to be pretty particular sometimes.
We'll try not to be punitive for this cool weapon I invented, or this cool item I invented.
All right. But moral of the story, staff does not get us forward. It looks into the past.
All right.
What happened in this room in the past? Let's just take it for
I only get to use it once a day. We're gonna just look at
Oh, you only get to use it once a day. Never mind.
Listen to the rules, jackass.
My bad.
Bro, do you even staff?
No. That's why you have it.
But yeah, I don't know how these wish
I
spells.
don't even have the one that I'm supposed to
Yeah,
have.
that's why you don't even have your own.
As you get close to the snarl and everybody kind of circles around. Uh-oh, did we lose you? Yeah. And there's something about this tattoo. You just innately know you can release this at your will. The tattoo that you know kind of starts at the middle of your forehead and goes back to your neck. As you begin to utter this incantation, kind of in reverse, you remember when you got here, it was like the subway car effect. And your intention is return to the time where I was, 2849. The whole world kind of rushes around you, and you see almost like a fuse of dynamite. This thing starts to disappear from your forehead and down to your neck. Everything but the kind of loop on the back of your neck is used up. So the wish portion of your tattoo is gone, but the temporal exclusion remains. So you still have that whole, if you're in a different timeline. You go, and you come back, and standing in front of you is Dean Bectus. It's been a second since you left, and they're holding the staff of Lorehold. You are. She looks at you, and she says, she knows how you had to get back. Don't tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Success?
And I just to the ground.
Very good. We should leave. Okay. You all jump back over the anti-magic cavern and out of Dean Grimhilda's lair and ride the elevator back up to
I would like to cast
Lorehold
disguise self on myself, and mostly just for the staff. I'm gonna try to look the same, but I want to make the staff
like a
just look more like a quarterstaff or a staff of some kind.
Like a walking stick or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Good call.
Good. Honestly, just a sharper rain stick that you can dub upside down.
Yes. Or a didgeridoo.
Yeah.
Well, you have 4 or 5 items of this Statera Opus. Congratulations. Where do you go after you arrive back?
What time of day is it?
You got a secure place to store that stuff?
Yeah, on my person.
Right on cue.
By on your person, do you by chance mean in your butt?
No, but I appreciate the follow-up.
Okay.
I mean, how long does your disguised person last? Is this a 24/7 situation? You just don't seem very prepared to just hide a giant staff.
Well, yeah, the problem is no one knows I have it, so I don't really need to hide it when I'm asleep.
Recognize it from the statue.
Well, no, it's disguised, and then I sleep, and not to out myself here, but I don't sleep with anyone, so no one's gonna see it.
Yeah, we know.
You're just gonna put it under your bed?
Nerd!
So yeah, I mean, you let Obi keep his.
Yeah, Obi's much different.
Obi says, let?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone has their own right now, and I point to Hattie.
Your sister has yours, and then he has...
I didn't even know that mine was mine until it was too late.
I was too late on all the rest of the Statera Opus, okay?
But we will be there when you need us, obviously.
I'm just hoping it will be there.
We went in the same
at all
dream door.
times for you.
Do you know how all these things fit together? Are they pieces in a puzzle? They're all gonna connect at some point?
It's like gems in a glove.
That's
I
very accurate. Did y'all ever see Yu-Gi-Oh? You just kind of totally keeps amassing all of these.
It's like Voltron,
items, right?
Everyone just comes together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think once we have all 5 of them, then we can assemble it.
Yeah.
So to get you back on the timeline, the next week is the primaries.
Okay.
So the schools have to each independently decide which candidate they're going to put as their candidate, and only students in each school can vote. And then you'll have holiday break, and then when you come back, you do the campus-wide election to see who is the popular vote, and then the founders arrive. They will have the big ceremony. They'll be presented. They'll debate. They'll decide, nominate the new oracle. That evening then will be the Silver Quill campus event, the Ghost Masquerade.
Okay.
So primaries are coming first.
You guys, if I use my wish spell on Palinastra, will Jordy know?
I don't know.
Professor Jojira, will he know?
I mean, he knows she has one, so if she was able to run, he would know that she no longer has it.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty obvious.
So
But
we were
I
really
don't-
talking about using our wish spells in front of Palinastra last time, and she was like totally chill about it.
Yeah, she's a pretty chill lady.
Okay.
As you're going through the next 24 hours, Garrett,
Okay.
a student you've seen before but haven't, that to your knowledge, interacted with yet, this white-haired girl, she has been interviewed by Shushu before. You know her name is Saoirse. She is part of the Auric. She kind of finds you and comes up for a private conversation and says, "Hey, may I have a word with you?"
Can I roll for investigation to see if this is just Sirs in shape-shifting
Yep.
form of
Make
the person?
an insight check.
Or insight? Thank you.
He's learned.
They are not cats.
Oh god.
Is that from something?
Insight is 13.
13. You're pretty sure that it is.
Okay.
The name was not super subtle. You know, the female version of Saoirse. So, you know. But
Yeah,
she
that's
she
exactly
continues talking, whether you know that or not. And she says, "You know that the Lorehold vote is coming, and I know that you are quite close with one of the Lorehold students, your cousin with the mohawk or the mullet or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't think he knows.
Wow.
One has to wonder what your plan is, and if it includes the support of our dear leader for the position of Oracle."
I mean, I feel like that should be pretty obvious. Like,
Oh, dear little brother. No, it's not. I know you. You want to keep your nose clean. You can't possibly tell me that you're all for this. Are you planning to enthusiastically support the Auric leader for the role of Oracle?
how about we drop this whole charade, sirs? Can we just talk like face to face?
He's like, absolutely, if it'd make you more comfortable. The question still remains of where your loyalties lie.
Is that better for you?
It's a power move. Obviously, my loyalties. I kind of scan the room and then pull my sleeve up to show my tattoo. And say, obviously, it's pretty clear where my loyalties lie.
Well, if there's anything that I will give you credit for is your modicum of cleverness. And, you know, there's always certain ways around things. It's why we're good at what we do, our little family of ours. I'll just say this for the record. If you are not enthusiastically supportive of our leader's campaign, I will go to school leadership and tell them that you were the one who murdered Flint in the ethereal plane.
I don't need you to threaten me.
Oh, of course you don't. Of course you don't. So why even
In order
bother?
to support-
Wasn't even worth saying. After all, we're always been on the same side, haven't we?
We certainly have. Now I'm questioning which side you're on. How confident is our org leader that you will not betray him, considering I know an awful lot about your history of betrayals?
Stranger days.
Our
This is the
dear,
most yank conversation I've ever heard in my life.
our dear leader knows that I'm an opportunist and that, he has created a space for people who don't want to live within this system. And I sure as hell do not like systems that require me to act and behave a certain way. And so as long as he is committed to dismantling this ridiculous facade of order, why would I betray him?
Because you like to live in your own system, not someone else's.
Yes, but lucky for me, someone always shares that ideology. And for now, I guess that works.
Then I guess we're on the same team. For now.
That a boy. Right answer.
And I turn and walk away.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell me what you would like to do. So here's this would be most helpful if I could justify Pelanistra explaining some of the kind of polling to you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it reasonable that y'all would regroup with her at some point?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to rail you into that, but
She's the
this would
tag
really
back-
help me explain
yeah,
some of
she's
this
the tag back
mechanics.
captain for sure.
Okay. So, let's see. Is she the next slide? There she is.
DT. It's beautiful.
So as you all gather back with her, you go into her inner sanctum. Do you tell her about the success of your mission? How much do you want her to know?
Y'all are telling her everything.
Yeah.
I'm not a part of it.
I'm going to tell her everything.
Okay. As she looks at you, she begins to tell you about kind of the status of campus. You see her in her very kind of monk-like abode, which has very little in it. I mean, she is a very minimalist, kind of monk-like individual. But she does have a blank wall, and she begins to utter an incantation, and on the wall you begin to see tracing some graphs. She says, okay, the primaries are what they are. However, there is a way for the deans of the school to do preliminary polling of sorts, measuring the ideologies and intent of every entity that exists on our campus that is eligible to participate. And as of now, keep in mind we have discussed some, she looks at her wrist, some potential alternatives. These, as near as we can tell, are the current assumed candidates. Casimir from Silverquill, Osmagod from Witherbloom, Professor Contraption from Quandrix, and Professor Jojira from Lorehold.
I just can't with any of them.
Now, this would be what we believe, to the best of our abilities, would be the current, if we voted today, this would be the popular vote. As you can see, Casimir leads by a large margin. I will tell you, Professor Contraption does have somewhat of a following, both for his novelty and for the fact that there are many who believe that constructs have never been represented in the student body, and until except for Taurus, until Professor Contraption, no construct had any level of influence. And many might see this as a new day to validate their existence and their connection with the rest of humanity. And as you can see, Osmagod and Witherbloom, again, are firmly in last place, and I'll tell you, I don't expect much to happen on that front.
It's not because we don't like Witherbloom, it's just because you got Osmagod as your number one candidate.
And it was like rotting every time you talk to him. It's the whole thing.
Smells
Well-
so bad.
No one
The
can
other-
relate to him. He's not personable.
I think it's a her.
She is unsightly. She also is one of the few that would even be willing. The problem often isn't the selection available, but who's willing to participate. Faculty are not, with Willow Dusk will not. Spade of Threes is still such a mysterious unknown entity, and I can't say that that creature would be any better as a candidate.
Definitely not.
So,
Where's Bowling coming from for Joe Gyra? Because he just got
Yeah,
here.
he's a first-year faculty member.
you may remember from our past conversation, the idea of immortality is going to be central to this vote in ways it never has before. The other candidates all could theoretically serve the rest of time as the Oracle, and many would see that as an unfair advantage and influence for whatever school they represented to be in that role for such a period of time. Jojira might be, to some, attractive because he's new and young and has ideas and has been very well liked during his tenure here.
Probably.
He also could be the lesser of some evils. Casimir, as wildly popular as he is, Osmagad, as unpopular as she is, he might be just an alternative to people that would like to see something different happen. And then the immortality. Those, especially those who have been around Strixhaven for a while, don't like the idea and don't consider it fair play for anyone but a mortal creature
Well, then why
to
don't we put
play
a
this
term
role.
limit on it?
That would require the founders
Yeah, we know
to
them.
agree on that.
How many of the founders?
There are some who are a little bit more conservative than others. I'll say that Velamachus, Shadrax, and Beladros have been the least likely to be willing to change or agree upon changes to the few pieces of constitution for this campus.
Sounds
So,
about right.
what are the chances, Joe Gyra, we could give him mortal competition in his primary?
I mean, that would potentially steal away some of that vote. I will tell you, Joe Gyra has not, no one has officially announced their campaign, so again, this is preliminary, but I would fully expect for those that would have the aspiration, specifically Casimir and Joe Gyra, that you're going to begin to see a campaign emerge from this. Now, I'll tell you that endorsements do carry a lot of weight. Professors, deans, throwing their weight or their approval behind a candidate, typically many students will follow suit on that. If events that can help propel the visibility of a candidate to help share their platform, I'll tell you, all of them will have to come to campus with a plan of what they intend to accomplish as the Oracle. The truth be told, we're at a turning point. Many of the parlays to all of the planes of existence have been done for the most part. There are a few outliers, but this could be a campaign where some creative connections and pursuits could become more relevant. There's an air of mystery there.
Like members of the Tap Pack?
I think you have some notoriety, but I don't know that you alone can do that. But and here's what I'm going to outline for you. If you get a dean to endorse a candidate, you will throw 500 votes towards that candidate.
Okay.
If you get a professor to do so, you'll get 250 of votes behind that candidate. If you use your own platform, like the band Incendio that Ovi is leading, or the cheer squad that Indigo is on, you might be able to get 100 votes per recruiting event that you lead with your given influence.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
got so many
if
that
you
really
go,
want extra.
if you are able to convince any of the groups on campus, for example, the Mundanes on Quandrix, or the Scourge of Light, or fight groups, or the athletes, or whoever you might, the Artificers Club, you know, some of you've been in a sewing club. If you're able to, I forgot about that until just now.
When did this happen?
A long time ago, I was in a costume club making costumes for like the acts on
Come
campus.
in handy, yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that fun?
So you
Great.
could
Well-
get up to 250 votes, 100 votes for maybe a group, and then anyone, depending on how popular they are, It could get you up to 250 votes.
So
So use this number. There's 10,000 votes on campus, and so this percentage, you have to just kind of do the math on there to be able to do this. Now, this is, again, if these are the candidates. So the first thing that's going to happen are primaries. But before we go there, is there anything else that you want to discuss with Pelinistra before we talk
Was there any
about?
other reason that contraption we didn't want to be except for immortality?
Contraption is fine, and to be honest, out of the candidates that we have just discussed, he would be the less of all the evils. I would say I would trust his morality and his intentions. That being said, I think he's got a lot to overcome to be considered that. I think he's very popular in some small circles.
Less to overcome than you? More to overcome than you?
I have been around campus for a long time. I functioned as the deputy voice of the Oracle in the Chancellor's absence. There is a level of influence and leadership that I have provided. Some like it and some don't. And I do want to point, did any of you get the Google Sheet with the...
Yes, everybody?
I might be able to actually pull that up here. Allies and enemies.
Oh, yeah.
Something.
I think I might be able to throw it up here. I think it's this one. Yeah, here we go. So I did want to show you this. These are the professors and deans, because you had asked, who does she trust? Let's see if I can make this any bigger. She would trust Bectus, Galages at Prismari, Pelinestra, obviously, Yelvin Dabo, Victor Deepwell from Lorehold, Arkad Menexes from Prismari, Grimiak from Prismari, Soaskeza, who's the potions professor at Quandrix campus, Contraption, Professor Anne Laurie, who runs the cathedral, you'll remember. She's the angel over there.
About older.
Yeah. Professors she would decidedly not trust, Grimhilda over at Lorehold, Dean 4873, the demonic dean over there, Dean Osmagod, obviously, Jojira, Professor Rizix, who was with the tentacles on Prismari.
Yeah, that's a no for me, dog.
Casimir and Vrivienne, she would be very skeptical of, and Spade of Threes.
Yeah, why Rivian? I saw that. I was...
She is an opportunist. And to be fair, she's also immortal. I also think that she has objectives, and I, to be honest, don't trust that she's not got her hooks in places we don't want them.
Good.
Then there are some ones she would consider neutral, like Dean Talantis doesn't really do anything on Prismari other than guard the plains. And so she tends not to get engaged in politics. Dean Reason over at Silverquill would kind of be the same way. This kind of angelic creature, he just considers himself kind of above this. And then there's some unknowns. What is Taurus's genuine intention here? I think she fears Taurus may have gotten too smart and wonders what that artificial intelligence would do. And Willow Dusk seems to be an unknown, but Willow Dusk is never leaving Witherbloom campus. So she's been here forever, but what her intention is and her loyalty to Belladros kind of makes her a question mark.
Dean, if we can remove your the effect on your tattoo, would you campaign against Jojira?
We'll campaign against Casimir first, right? Because aren't they both Silverquill?
I mean, really, the consequential
she's
one.
campaigning against
So it'd be her over Contraption, right?
Contraption,
Casimir Silverquill. You know, I've given this a bunch of thought since we spoke yesterday. I believe that this would stave off one threat. And I do think in that position, I could rally those loyal to us to address the Demigoth Titan. And I wouldn't need the Founders or Witherbloom's blessing to do so.
All right.
I also believe that this doesn't solve the Belladros problem.
Yeah.
And
No,
at the end of the day,
Solve the Belladros problem.
At the end of the day, the founders get to decide. Now, the popular vote has always been highly influential, but I have to tell you, I believe Shadrax is likely to be passionate about his turn again at the helm of being of having an oracle as the lead. And I believe he would throw all of his weight insistently on Casimir. And this is the first time I just honestly don't know what is going to happen. But Casimir is in my opinion, a far less imminent threat than Jordy
To
is.
the world.
Fair, yeah.
So the short answer is, I will not ask you to, and I will not order you to. But if you do, yes, I will put my candidacy forth as an
It
oracle.
sounds like they probably should then.
So, I mean, here's what I'm thinking. If that can help us with the Demigod Titan, I like our odds there. And then we can just go around and start campaigning for mortals versus immortals. And then it makes it just a Jojira Hellenistra race. And we're not really going against anyone or for anyone.
I like your logic. I also like your just supreme confidence on the Demigod Titan already. That's contagious.
Can you repeat what you said? We are going for what?
So if we can put Hellenistra in there, then she would be another immortal person. Mortal person. That would... Because that's really the only thing going for Jojira right now, is that he's mortal and the other ones are immortal. So if we put another mortal person in there, then we can try to get our professors to back just the we
Mortal
vote
candidates, yeah.
right. Yeah, single issue voter type of
Yeah.
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 I know.
I don't
I
care
know.
about the economy. I care about whether they die or not.
Correct. I don't care what they do. I just care about this one thing.
No, I like that logic. I was going to say, I was planning to at least give Jojira a fight in Lorehold, at possibly the cost of more of my face, but that's a sly dude, so I'm expecting him to pull out all the bells and whistles for the primary. Maybe he'll overextend himself and let Dean slide in there in the main election. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that cheer squad. There's a cheer squad. I just makes me think of Teen Girl Squad.
I'd like to make eye contact with...
Well, I'm hoping that
You
Incendio
want
could
to
take
make eye
some of
contact with me?
the vampire.
Yeah.
bites.
Do we have a signal for when you want to do that?
No, we all know. We just
It's
let it
very
happen at
obvious.
this
It's
point.
this.
Okay. We are locked.
You guys just fly right into each other.
Hey, have you thought about the wish to get our parents back together again?
What if one of our parents ran for Oracle?
I mean, no.
Okay,
I have not.
cool.
Cool.
And then she just flutters back.
Makes a reverse sound and everything. Just backs it up.
I mean, what do you guys think? Should we burn a wish spell to try this?
I mean, I point to my forehead and say, I'm out, so if you guys are willing, I'm not against the idea.
I don't think that Delta and I can.
Because Delta's saving her wish spell for something better.
Because we
We
can't go
both
against
are.
our things,
So
Is that why?
So then it's
yes,
Hattie.
hello.
Wait, you didn't tell him about
Flutters
trying to
back
get our
over.
parents back together, right?
No, I've told no one.
Oh, okay, so he's
So
just
that's what you're
pretending that
using your
he's part of
spell
it.
for. So then Hattie can use her spell for this.
Well, I think the okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I look to Garrett. Can Garrett and I talk about the org with my eyes?
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah, what's up?
I'll use my ear of understanding I got
To
from
intercept
forever
it?
ago to
Yeah,
at least
there you
just
go.
like be a passenger.
I'm going to say that y'all have done this enough times in front of Pelanistra now that she just kind of lets it go.
Right.
We're ripping.
Your eyes are
don't
really
mind us.
glistening in this light. It looks great.
We can't wish her because we're part of the Big O.
I feel like that might be a clear act against Joe Gyra. So we cannot actively go in the way of Joe Gyra campaigning. So that's why I'm saying, like, you and I can campaign for a mortal, but not specify which mortal. And it seems like it's Joe Gyra, but it could be also Pelanistra.
I didn't know the org would. I'm looking at you still. Sorry, I didn't know the org was going to dictate my wish spell. That's kind of a bummer.
I want to say out loud, you're not telling him my idea, right?
No.
Okay.
Can I
Okay.
tell people? Like, do you want people to
I
know?
just don't know if it's worth the risk.
Okay.
So considering we have other people with wish spells.
And that's this time I'm just kind of giving away that I've been listening this whole time and just like point to my scarred face.
Yeah, we know. We know.
Which now matches
They still
Garrett's.
look pretty dope.
Oh yeah,
though.
Garrett. Yeah, now we're extra tattoo brothers
Wait, what did he
Yeah.
use this spell for?
No, he got burnt in the cave
from helping
for helping
Kalema.
Kalema.
Yeah, it's not fun, so I don't recommend it. Let's just try to convince one of these two to use their wish spell.
Okay.
You got this one, Hattie?
Hattie is very team not Pelanistra, so probably not.
What are you saving your wish spell for?
I have an idea, but I don't think it's cooked enough for everybody to hear it.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to hear it.
Garrett, as soon as
You'll
I've
use
got
yours?
one, you'll be the first to know, my guy.
Thank you for your
As
sacrifice of being
history has dictated, you and I are the closest people in this crew, so
You've
you'll be
earned
the
the stat
first
with
one to
this
chat
regard.
with about this.
Great, cool. Yeah,
All right, Indigo has volunteered as tribute for.
For wish spell.
And you're
For
going to give her
DP
the
would-
staff?
Well,
Thank you,
at some
Indigo.
point, not in this exact moment. We're having a whole thing right now.
Well, there's some leverage.
Interesting. Maybe I'll give up my wish spell for another item of the Stratera Opus.
Oh, no.
Well,
But
that
then you
was
gotta
the
get mine
implication,
back.
just not now.
No,
I hope you guys are
trust
happy.
that you'll help me do the right thing when the time comes.
Great. We'll give. How about we give it all over once we get all 5 of them? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. Yeah, for
Now,
sure.
as a reminder, you have to be near a snarl for your wish spell to work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there.
So we could
Yeah,
probably
we're
just make
getting
like,
consent from.
Do you guys think I'm gonna get a spell?
well, like, don't do it when anyone's around. Well, how do
They can't just like feel it?
I don't think they have like a wish protection police force.
I mean, Obi did his on campus.
Same.
Pelanistra holds up her hand and she says,
You should go.
"You're with me," and she leads you. She says, she looks at you and she's like, "Come with me. I have something to show you."
Oh.
Okay.
And she
Prize
kind of ends the group, leaves you to continue discussing if you want to talk this political stuff. She walks you out of her office in the building Taurus. She doesn't get into a carriage. She actually walks on foot. And you'll remember between Quandrix and Prismari, right? It's the junkyard. Can't remember which side it's on. Between Quandrix and Prismari is a massive walled structure. 50-foot walls, and it's this huge pie piece that goes to a very specific point, and back out as far as you can see, past the junkyard, past the pools of that you can travel in through at Prismari campus. She goes to the very point. It takes you probably 10-20 minutes to walk your way out. And she leads you to kind of the point where the pie piece is. This is the Fury Gale. This is the wild magic zone of campus. And they've walled it off to try and contain it a little bit. But she does open a door that's there, a small door that virtually nobody uses. even though it doesn't appear to be locked, or you can go in if you want. And she says, stay close to me. Don't trust anything that you see, and don't touch anything.
Oh.
And as you go in, you enter a wonderland. It is clouds and rainbows and sparkles, and things are floating upside down. Trees are growing horizontally off of the wall. And as you walk, she seems to walk very pointedly in a direction. And you see this road kind of come together, like this yellow brick road, come in front of her feet every step that she takes. And things that are in her way, she either walks through with great confidence as if it's smoke, or they move out of her way, or the ground materializes around her to be able to allow the two of you to go. You're right behind her.
Yeah,
and
like I'm imagining like Glinda behind Madame Horrible, like just kind of like a little puppy.
Every once in a while you get kind of brushed. You get these like weird smell sensations, like a bouquet of roses and then like grilled meats, and you don't really know where kind of they're coming from. All of a sudden flowers grow all the way up as high as your head. Little sunflowers. They have eyes on them, and they follow you as you walk. You see distorted looking kind of pets that are half one thing, half another. It is just this beautiful, weird, whimsical, strange chaos world. And you see Pelanistra walking, not diverting her eyes, and you get the sense, you have a fairly high arcana, that she is navigating, she is telling the world what to do around her with her intentions. And it's responding to her. She walks probably 10, 20 minutes. She turns at one point in time, you make a complete circle, like you're going through a traffic circle, and kind of come right back to where you came, and then walk back a little bit, and then turn. It's this weird maze that has no rhyme or reason to it. But she does end up coming to a stop in front of what appears to be a tree, but it looks like a tree that has roots on the bottom and the top that are kind of growing into each other. And you see this knot, this kind of empty hole right in the middle of the tree. As you get close, you can feel the power of this. Your tattoo lights up as you get near this. And she turns around and she says, "We're here. Now listen, this is wild magic. I have no idea what might happen, but spells cast here can be distorted. Typically they do exactly what they're supposed to do, and then other things happen. So whatever you do it on purpose. Focus."
What exactly should I say?
Is this a snarl then?
This is a snarl. It's
Like a
inside
wild
this tree.
magic snarl.
And you know how to release the wish spell of your tattoo as you look at the tattoo on her arm.
Can someone
Would you
give her
like to
like bonuses or something?
Nah, none of us are there.
As you begin this, the incantation, you begin to connect with this tattoo. There's a curse built into this. And while you are wishing for the power of this tattoo to be dispelled, it is fighting against you. And it is fighting against you because that's exactly what it was designed to do. However, you feel as you continue this incantation that it can't hold a candle to the power that you are about to invoke. And you begin to dominate it and force it to submit to your will. And you begin to see almost this this thin, papery substance. Not really skin, but it's like this black sludge. The tattoo stays on her arm, but you begin to pull the power out of it. And as you end your wish spell, the light from your tattoo slowly begins to go away, but it matches the fuse, like the fuse as it disappears matches the tattoo's power as it gets eaten up. and you successfully remove it. I do need you to roll a D100 to see if there's what magical effect happens alongside this.
No problem.
And as you do this, as you're looking at this up, or you're rolling it, you see Pellinistra fall to her knees, not in pain. You see this strong, serious woman that you have known now for almost a year, who always seems to have her poise together, is prepared for anything. You see this look of utter relief come off her face, as if a burden she has been carrying literally for 400 years has finally lifted off of her shoulders.
Fuck Jordy, right?
Wow.
She can finally say it.
She looks you in the eyes and she smiles and she's like, fuck Jordy.
Yes! I got a 14.
14.
Oh no. Big bucks, no worries.
So I'm going to give you this until the next spell that you cast where this is eligible. Creatures have disadvantage on saving throws against the next spell you cast.
Oh, hell yeah, great work.
That requires a saving throw. So I need you to remember that. But I will let that be true the next time you cast a spell ever. For that one use.
And that's creatures have disadvantage.
And the way that I'm going to narratively say that is, how do you cast your spells? What do you use when you cast? Do you have an amulet or
I have
a
a javelin
jewel?
like around with me.
Javelin. Okay, let's use your javelin then. Let's say your javelin glows with this blue light as if it's infused with that protection. So you're going to have a greater success on a spell with a saving throw next time you do that. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay, let's get back to politics then. Primaries are to start, but as you begin to put some of these ideas together, you get a little news report.
Wait, is this like a true primary or is it a caucus situation?
Do we actually get to vote, or is it?
You have to be
is a-
registered by
us?
party? Like, what is
This
it?
is an informal town hall where we all raise our hand and one guy tries to
Yeah.
count really fast.
Right, there you go.
Say yay or nay.
It's a magical school. It just knows. Shoo Shoo comes on and she greets everyone. Hello, all you Strixhaven friends. What a week it has been. And we are here for history. Now, I know some of you may remember, but really, most students that would have been around this time have graduated and gone on to bigger and better things. Not just any generation of students gets a chance to participate in this incredible event. And to announce his candidacy before these primaries, I have invited, at his request, Professor Jojira Narkales, who would like to speak to the campus about his plan for what
yelling at
the
the
Oracle,
radio.
the next Oracle might mean. Welcome, Professor. You see 40-year-old Jojira, you know him as Jordy, come on the screen. And this is the first time, and I think, Garrett, you would probably notice this more than anybody. You've seen in this 40-year-old version of Jordy something dark. You know, this Jordy has made the deal with the Demigoth Titan already. And so there is something about his soul that has been lost, bargained, whatever, and it's been very obvious in how he looks. However, every time you've interacted with any version of Jordy, he's always had this young innocence that you remember from the kid Jordy that you befriended. And what is it?
How many fingers does he have?
Oh, does he have a lot of
What
fingers?
is
It's AI, baby. He's got like 9
It's
fingers.
AI. Well, it's funny. I generated the whole slate of Jordys all at the same time, and I was like, make this character 20 years old, make him 25 years old, make him 40 years old. So I actually did to get some continuity to it, but
that's
you
nice.
know,
Well, it's like,
AI.
what's the like little light
It
thing?
looks like
and
he
then
has 2
closer?
hands like this in one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
We're at like breakfast or something, right? Like I can be like, ugh, and like try to help other people like think it too.
Just put out the vibes into the breakfast diner.
Professor Jojira begins to address everyone. He says, "Greetings, all Strixhaven. It is wonderful to see you, especially after the events that have transpired. And I'd like to join with all of campus for a moment of silence for our now deceased Oracle, Jadzi was a good woman, and we owe her a debt of gratitude for her service.
Dude, I know.
Now, I have not been on campus for very long, but I have to tell you,
Sorry, not.
I have been a fan and a student of Strixhaven and its incredible legacy throughout the multiverse. Many of you have heard us discuss in class about some of these things in the history of this place. Strixhaven, I'm not a politician. I'm not here to try and make you promises that don't get kept. I'm not here to try and garner support, raise money. I believe in what this school could stand for. And what I hope is that you will join me as we pioneer into a new era. The truth is, many of you know that there are shackles binding the faculty and staff of this institution. Sometimes against threats outside the school, sometimes threats inside the school, sometimes threats even among your fellow students. We're handicapped to protect you and help you. I call that a travesty, a stain on the legacy of this great school. And I promise, as an oracle, that I will do everything in my power to dismantle these chains that bind the school from being able to help those most in need. I want to liberate you from being kept in these small containment, these protected and insulated spaces. I want Strixhaven students to be able to go out into the world, to go and test your skills, to go get practical experience, to go learn new magics. The oracles cannot be the only ones going out to find and discover new ways that magic can benefit our world. That should be a part of your experience. For what greater contribution can you make but then to fight for what is right, to protect those who are most vulnerable, and continue to expand the limits of what magic is truly capable of. I'll tell you as well, and I don't think this is a popular perspective, but I don't believe that those who confess and publicly profess an evil disposition or agenda should be allowed to walk freely and to operate as liberally and as autonomously as they do. I will make sure that you have checks and balances in place for those who would otherwise seek to hurt, destroy, harm, or manipulate you. And I can tell you, I don't believe that many of these other candidates will offer you the same assurance. As part of my time, I will also build a 1,000-member force for good at this school. Students have already begun to amass around the Scourge of Light, a student-led body that is here to protect what is right and what is good. And I intend to empower and continue to grow until we reach a force that can protect this campus both from itself and from outside. In this next era, Strixhaven can be something that it should have been all along. And with your help and your support, we can do it together. Shoo comes back on. She's like, wow, you guys, whew, goosebumps. Thank you, Professor. I'm sure many of us will take that into consideration. Now, we know that you still have a primary to win, so we wish you the best of luck and Lorehold campus as you move forward. We trust that all of you will take all of this into consideration. And thank you. This is a special report from your best sexy Shoo.
Should have used my wish spell.
Or to make 2 shoes.
Definitely not that. What a load of crap.
Yeah, I forgot how good he is at this stuff.
Definitely
Yeah, I
a
mean, he's
person.
definitely going to win his primary, but we'll see.
About this same time, Pelanistra announces her candidacy. So I want to show you how the polls have been affected by what has just happened.
Oh no, 100% of the votes for Dean Pelinistra. That's crazy.
Professor Jojira and Pelinistra both gained quite a bit of favor. Osmagod and the Undecided shrunk pretty considerably. Casimir still holds a small lead in the race as a popular candidate.
But Obi definitely wants to make his band go do a little event for Pelinistra, I would say.
Yep. So I will say that he does a benefit concert, a campaign concert for Pelinistra, which he has no tattoo. There's no reason why he can't, and endorses her. So I will throw 500 votes towards Dean Pelinistra.
So have all those people won their primaries yet, or are we still in primary?
Not yet. So let's talk about Lorehold for a second.
Okay.
Is there anything specific that you want to do to try and influence Jojira and Yelvin? What you should know is that Yelvin is not charismatic. However, Yelvin is deeply respected.
Yeah.
And so the campus, Lorehold campus, again, order and chaos, these two candidates could not represent those two ideals more. And so the campus is kind of split down the middle.
Okay.
With those that would desire or have a proclivity for more order, going more towards Yelvin. Jojira's speech did elevate him and make him a contender.
All right. Well, I think I could somehow rally both Dean Bectus and Professor Vicor behind Yelvin. I feel like I would break down to Yelvin my mission of trying to fix the divination and kind of explicitly state this election weighs on that heavily. Like, your running mate is why I'm here.
So, since he is a candidate and Vicor would be his voice, Jojira would be an oracle with Grimhilda as his voice. The only one left to give an endorsement is Bectus. Because otherwise they're just campaigning for themselves, right?
I feel like she's helped us with the Strateris Opus, which is kind of the most obvious defiant action against.
As the Dean of Order, it's not a super hard sell.
Like, we
And
would
she
like to
is able to come
up,
and get an endorsement for Yelvin.
Okay.
I will tell you, your Oracle Spidey senses, the Oracle, the Auric in mass do a lot of campaigning, a lot of visibility, and a lot of even intimidation tactics. Those that you know of the Oracle. I would, given that what you just told me was specifically for Yelvin, I didn't hear you say anything that was anti-Jojira.
Correct.
However, the more you tiptoe towards that, the more there could be consequences because of your tattoo.
Fair. And I'm aware of that.
And you don't care?
I mean, they got the whole face thing already. I
Well,
do have a ring of resistance to what's psychic
Psychic.
damage. Yeah.
Oh.
He'll do that for the next hour. He doesn't let him in for hours.
Oof.
Yeah, we remember that. It was awful.
I was
I
just
drew a
saying,
letter and put it in his mailbox.
Aw.
We can't leave him voicemails because his voicemail box is full.
and then I
Doesn't
would,
text.
like I texted, I would like to try to get, so Yelvin in my session 0 came to my parents' house to try to convince them to let me become District Saving. I would like to try to get my political backing of the Gruberis state to endorse him
Okay.
for their own visibility on Strixhaven. It'd be like them kind of please me for like, hey, our kids got black sheepies at magic school, but
Okay.
like, oh, politics, we got this.
Great. Your parents come to campus while you didn't specifically tell them what you wanted done.
Yeah.
You basically said, hey, like this is a good opportunity. Did you know that Yelvin's running?
Yeah,
Let them
yeah.
come to their own conclusions kind of
Yeah, yeah.
situation. They throw a great like dinner. They invite the RAs, the Yelvin and Vicor, and really try to use some of that influence, which is very effective in elevating. And I would say that probably gives Yelvin a little bit of an edge.
Hell yeah.
don't have that many other connects at Lorehold that I think could help.
What about that little QRA?
She's at Quandrix. She's also my friend. I don't know if she's cute or not.
Tried to make her cute. Come on, AI doesn't make non-cute images.
Yeah, you guys definitely have a thing.
I mean, young Jordy might be oblivious to everything. I don't know if he's much of an influence, though.
The irony of getting Jordy to vote for Yelvin would be so enjoyable, but that's literally
Correct.
one vote, and I don't know.
Yeah. I just don't know anyone else in Laurel.
Yeah, fair.
What about just go talk to all the professors?
Yeah.
Well, they're all running.
Yeah.
Well, every professor's running?
Every professor, Dean Bectus is the only one not running. So Jojira is running, and Dean Grimhilda is campaigning as his voice, and Vicor, it would be the voice for Yelvin.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to go talk to all the Prismari professors that I'm close with, because
Okay.
none of them are running, right?
Right, they can't. They're not eligible.
But they're all voting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So-
Do you... let's finish this primary real quick.
All right.
Okay.
And we'll talk Quandrix, and then we'll talk Prismari. As the day of the... which this timeline might get a little jerky here.
Yeah.
As the day of the primaries comes, everything is set up. You see Jojira, life of the party, charismatic, handshaking, kissing babies, that whole deal. Everyone kind of goes to vote. Over the course of the couple hours that the polls are open, you see people coming in and out, and as the polls close, you see the candidates both kind of go along their way and wait for kind of the announcement. The announcement is read by Dean Bectus, who's the one arguably neutral party in all of this, and this happens kind of hours later, right? So everyone's kind of dispersed, and then everyone gathers back in Kolema Hall for the announcement. And Dean Bectus stands up and she says, "Today was a lot of ups and downs. And while I am happy to report that Professor Yelvin Dabo won the nomination, I'm also sorry to say that he was found murdered in his apartment 20 minutes ago."
You killed him. Indirectly.
Yeah, that weight is aggressively on my shoulders.
So I have no choice but to award the Lorehold nomination to the runner-up, Professor Jojira. Now
Who's investigating this?
there will be a full inquiry as to what happened. It appears
I can tell you.
we will share with you more information as we know it. It is the policy.
Where was that? We got...
It's the policy of Strixhaven not to raise the dead, and so we will be honoring the wishes of that. However,
But if someone was a murderer, they couldn't be nominated, right?
so this is kind of an announcement to all
with the
the
Lorehold
2,000
alumni,
students
yeah.
of
They're
Lorehold,
like
right?
challenging it though.
What's that? You think that committing crimes disqualifies someone from office?
I do, yeah. Surprise.
I would like to immediately go to my chambers and scry to the time that...
So you have to physically be in the place that it happened.
Yeah,
so
so
you
I'm
get
gonna
your staff and you'd go to
go-
Yelvin's office.
Yeah, go to the...
There are quite a few armed people standing outside the door. It's an active crime scene.
Who are the guards? Just
Lorehold
generic
faculty, yeah.
Would there be the reason that the police wouldn't have something like that for doing their job? Because that would actually be kind of dope.
Tell them that you're a medium and that you can help with this case.
I do chalk drawings of where the bodies were. Who are the professors by chance? Like, is Grimhild? Who is I'm very curious of who is at his chambers.
No one appears to be there.
So I can
on the
enter
fact-
them?
No.
The
Absolutely not.
police.
So who is like holding guard?
The police.
No, they're low-level faculty, but they're trained in...
Adjunct faculty?
You are not allowed in this room.
Alright, I drop my disguise self and show my staff of Kalema to them.
They have no idea what that is.
Dog, fire these teachers instantly!
They recognize it as the same staff the statue upstairs has, or downstairs has.
Yeah, I flex the staff. It's like, this is the staff of the previous Oracle, Kalema, the namesake of this hall. I am the descendant of Velamachus Lorehold. You will let me into these chambers. Just big dick, 19-year-old swinging. Very out of place.
Like,
But like,
even if we believed you, we have our orders directly from Bectus and the Chancellor. Nobody gets in without their permission.
How small could I make you?
Put him in your pocket.
I think this is a bad idea. Something bad might happen, and I kind of wink at
like a little
McGregor.
rat.
Like,
well, you
I
guys
don't
don't
think
know this is
the right
happening.
time for
This
this.
is
Alright.
Lorehold shit.
Real old shit.
Can I just create this scry window on the door and see into
Yeah.
the chamber?
Not into the chamber, but you can see, like, if you pick the right time, then the door would be open at some point. You can see who entered or exited.
I'll
There we
settle for that. I'll do a door scry
Okay?
around the 20-minute interval of his death.
Okay. As you use this staff for the first time, it's a powerful object. You feel just this
I
reverberation.
better show these dumb adjunct faculty.
And
who
you
I am.
see this kind of misty swirl begin to appear in the face of it. And as you begin to think back to and pick that very specific moment in time about 25 minutes ago, you look. Exiting the chamber are two members of the Auric. The gray-skinned, I'm sorry, not her. The Goliath, the she-Goliath that we know as Skywatcher, and the Minotaur, known as Drazimir, that you've met now. They are two of the Auric that are upper-level students at Lorehold.
And he's the only one that can see it.
Right.
Alright.
About this time, you get an emergency news report, and the
Oh
Chancellor
my gosh.
comes on and says, given recent events, I must impress upon all of you that meddling in the order of the natural political process will be not only discouraged but prosecuted. Things will be allowed to progress as they are. If the culprit responsible for the death of Professor Yelvin is caught, they will be presented to the founders and be held to justice. This will not be tolerated again. Anymore.
You get this one for free.
You get free death.
The next one, though, I swear to God.
Don't make me. Okay.
I also like that it was like, you guys mess with politics and now we're mad. It wasn't like, we have a general regard for human life and so now we are mad.
You
The
broke the
box-
process, and the process is law.
Over at
Alright.
Quandrix, given that all of this is kind of happening simultaneously, Pelinistra wins by a fairly large margin over Contraption. Unless you intended to campaign for Contraption, it would have to be a lot. However, it was closer than you would have expected. The Mundanes and the Artificers Club and the Constructs who are allowed to participate in this were very
Should
much
they
in
be,
favor. And Taurus gave its endorsement to contraption as well. Pelinistra's reputation did give her the edge, and she's considered the nominee for Quandrix College.
Fair and square.
Garrett, Brian, you wanted to talk to some Prismari folk.
Correct. I would like to start with my buddy Grumiak.
Okay?
And
You go to his little, empty room with the hawk. The
Yep.
hawk summons him there. You see his astral form project in. And he looks at you and says, "It has been quite exciting, I hear, already on campus. Are you okay?"
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this whole election thing and I don't know, I trust you and I wanted to get your take on your thoughts on everything.
Well, I can tell you that Pelinistra would by far be the most amicable choice, the wisest choice, certainly, for everything that we know about what is to come.
Yeah.
I don't know about my compatriots here at Prismari. I think Dean Galages could potentially give his endorsement her way. I don't know about Arkin. Archimeneses is scatterbrained at the best of times and doesn't truly have that large of a following, but he is a professor here.
Yeah.
I think it would be disastrous for Jojira or Casimir, or Osmagad for that matter, to take the role.
I mean, the more I just keep hearing students talk about this whole mortal versus immortal side of it, and I mean, it makes sense, to not have an immortal be the oracle, because then that defeats the purpose of this whole democracy.
I think that is very insightful, and I think you would find many who would agree with you. However, Prismari campus, Prismari students are known for adventure. They may not like Silverquill or have strong feelings, but they do love flash and pomp and circumstance. And Jojira might have had one interview, but Casimir has been campaigning on Prismari campus for years and has quite a large following amongst the students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
It do be like that.
that's your opinion.
I appreciate you talking with me. I'm just trying to get a gauge, talking with a couple of professors that I trust and I know, and just try to wrap my head around all this. So I appreciate your time.
Yes. Well, I can assure you my endorsement will go to Pelinistra, and I can only hope that those loyal to me might follow suit.
Duly noted. I would like to go talk to Arkin.
Okay?
Why do you like that? No.
You haven't really, I don't think any of you have interacted with him much. As you'll remember, he looks like a 4-year-old boy. He has a big floppy hat. He has a ton of flair all over, buttons and
magic
pins,
guy.
with this funky looking staff. When you find him, he kind of lives in this little hut right by the Fury Gale. And it is painted these wild neon colors. And it has doors that are the wrong size. Everything about it is just straight out of Wonderland. But you see him, and he's actually kind of he's sitting kind of horizontal to the ground against one of the walls of the house, as if that was the gravity flow there to the side. And he looks up, and you approach. What do you say?
Hey, Professor. I just wanted to see if you had a couple minutes to talk.
Sure, I always have a few minutes to talk to the students.
No, he
Thanks.
didn't.
I know it's been a while since we've chatted, and this whole election thing just kind of has me in a just I don't really know what to think, and I just want to get your take. I trust Prismari and all you guys that helped bring me here. I was hoping to get some advice on kind of where you stand on this whole election.
Well, I think that this is a really important election, and I think that a lot of change can happen in this election. But you know what? I think that I don't really understand the purpose of the Oracle at all. Why can't the power just be spread against the campuses and the deans? And I think this system is kind of crazy. And truth be told, I think we could probably all come together and find an Oracle that is good for everybody. But you know what? I would tell you, I don't think that the guy that calls you brother is your real brother, and I don't think you should trust him.
Sir?
Oh, yeah. Wait, who called me brother? What?
What brother? What brother?
Who called me brother?
I don't know. Who's your brother?
Oh God, here we go.
You said the guy that called me brother?
I don't know a guy that called you brother.
Can I roll insight?
You can.
Or you could just have insight.
This dude just like blanket my prophecy dumped.
It's not no serious, right?
12.
12? What the hell is going on?
That's why I'm so.
No,
fucking
I've worked
confused.
with Palinessa for a really long time. I'm not as old as she is, but I really like her. I also think that contraption is great, and we really should give some people that are underrepresented a chance to be at the forefront. And I think that would be really exciting. But I know that he didn't get picked. But I don't know. Maybe we should campaign to have him on the docket as well, because he's really popular.
I mean, it seems like a lot of people like him. I'm over the table. Do I know that if Arkin is immortal or not?
He is. So you remember in our old campaign, the sorcerers that kept aging themselves down with wild magic?
Uh-huh.
That's why he's 4. So he's not immortal, but he's just using accidentally using
think
wild
he just
magic
keeps
to.
going
He's much
small.
older than his body is.
Okay, back to the dialogue.
It's like when you
Back
get
to the
plastic
good part.
surgery.
I just keep feeling like we need someone mortal in that position.
Oh, that's probably a good idea. You know who's mortal is the guy that likes you and that you like him.
Yeah,
Which
Jordy.
guy are you talking about?
What guy?
Totally. Well,
Just write it on his hand.
I just remembered I had to meet with another professor. I appreciate talking with you, Professor Arkin.
Well, I don't know where you're headed, but make sure that you walk backwards when you get there. That way that you'll, be there before you started.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Okay.
On that final awkward note, can I do like another just like inside of like, okay, but like, and I'm not even trying to like hide it. Like I'm like squinting at him and being like, what? Can I
You
roll
get
another
him to
insight?
do this like triple take. He's like, oh, yeah, I should tell you, I sometimes don't know what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, that explains everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I guess we haven't had like an actual lengthy conversation like this, so I never really noticed.
Assumed since you were a
Well,
professor
just
at
remember,
university.
I won't tell anyone about what happened in the ethereal plane, okay?
What about that guy for Oracle? Just saying.
Okay. Good talk. I'll see you in class.
Class?
And then I'm gonna walk out as
He starts like humming like row, row, row your boat as you walk away.
Not to draw this out. Should I don't mean to just go down professor by professor here, but like
Tell
I
me
would
what you're trying to accomplish here. I really just wanted to play Arkin, so I let it happen.
That was really good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep going. Like, I can go see Professor Riz666 next.
Okay. What are you trying to find out?
Pretty much, I'm trying to spread the word of, like, we should vote mortal.
Got it. So Professor Rizix is there, and actually, I don't know how many of you have interacted with Rizix before.
Right.
It is this unsettling baby's head with this on this spinal column with all of these tentacles. He kind of just has this cylinder, this glass cylinder that it lives in. It doesn't really have stuff. And you'll remember he doesn't have any verbal capabilities. So everything that he communicates is through an illusion, like this ribbon of language. And so he's writing these responses as he's talking to you. But the mouth never opens, the eyes never blink. It's very unsettling.
I hope you're happy talking to Professor fucking Speaking Spell out here.
Yeah.
Is he immortal? Do I know this?
I don't think you do. I don't think anybody does.
Okay.
But
Maybe find out before you start
Okay.
talking to mortals.
I know.
Mortals, am I right? Immortal word writer.
I just go up and be like, hey, Professor, I'm not sure how well we can communicate, but I at least want to give it a shot. I'm just kind of checking in with all the people I trust on Prismari, trying to get some advice about this election.
You trust this guy?
this ribbon comes up. Hi, Garrett Gamage. I'm happy to talk about your feelings about the election. What is on your mind?
I'm the dialogue I just keep hearing is this whole mortal versus immortal and picking sides that way. I wanted to see what you thought about that.
And what are your concerns with immortality?
I think the argument is that if an immortal being becomes Oracle, then it becomes it's no longer a democracy, and then we have a king or a queen or some type of aristocrat that's going to forever hold power.
Text comes up. So if a benevolent oracle who advanced your priorities and upheld your principles and advanced the cause of Strixhaven with their vast time, you wouldn't be in favor?
I think I would, but I also believe that the people should have a right to choose.
Oh.
And then...
Is
and
that not what is about to happen?
Yeah, but then this could be the last time.
If it's advancing your goals, why would you ever want to vote again and jeopardize that? You could end up with an oracle that works against your best interests.
Because I don't think anyone can really fully align with anyone else's goals. And you can never really trust someone's intentions.
So why vote?
To see that, to make sure that this process can stay alive.
Even if the result is a candidate you don't support? Is democracy more important?
I think in the long haul, yes.
Then why vote? Let bygones be bygones.
I mean, that's your right to feel that way. I understand where you're coming from. I'm not going to try to sway you one way or the other. I truly was just trying to...
You've not offended me. I still marvel at how those of you from the inner planes think. This is a foreign methodology to me and the other aberrations of my kind. And I still don't fully understand it. I also believe that you are all locked into systems and times that you are limited by in your current capacities. As the world continues to evolve, I believe there will be more opportunities. You put a lot of faith that things can never change. That doesn't appear to be the way of things. Things always change or they die.
So it seems like you don't intend on casting a vote in this upcoming election?
I remain undecided.
I respect that. Like I said, I'm not trying to sway you one way or another. I think I'm leaning towards voting for a mortal candidate for the reasons I said, but
I applaud your conviction. Many don't ever develop or channel that level of passion. Well done.
Inspiration.
thank you. I appreciate your time. I won't keep you any longer.
Goodbye, Garrett Gamage.
Who's the next professor on your list, bitch?
Let's see. No, I won't keep just like taking over this whole session. You get the idea.
So, as you near the end of the primaries happen, you have a week to kind of regroup while you're away at holidays. Do any of you want to go home for holiday break for any reason?
100%.
Oh my god, Delta!
Is Zen going back?
Mm-hmm.
I was really rude. Sorry, Hattie.
Yickety yikes!
You guys do the classic switch 'em ups move?
Do you want to?
Yeah, I do want to!
You could visit Bracken though.
That is great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bracken is gone. Doesn't Bracken live in the Shire?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sure.
I think let's do a switch.
Let's do a switch.
Oh, y'all are gonna legit parent trap
I
this?
think so. Do you want?
What do we have to do to ourselves in order to look like one another?
Well, y'all can make it as permanent or as magically illusory as you have the ability to do.
Delta's been going to sewing club, so
I have. So
Yeah,
we could-
so I guess that's taken care of.
yeah.
I do not have a dog in how this goes, the hunt of how this goes, so y'all can narrate this to your heart's content.
Great, we're parent trapping these motherfuckers.
Okay. So are you actually cutting your hair and switching clothes and all that stuff? Or are you going to go with illusions?
I think I might go with an illusion.
Yeah, she's not cutting her hair, Jimmy. You
Never,
played
never.
D&D with her.
Hey, this wasn't my idea.
This big polyjuice potion there.
And I did not offer the pseudo-dragon your hair, for the record.
Well, I mean, that's
I,
how I know it worked because it was such a valuable
I
item.
know. There's one thing.
I'd like to ask my buddy McGruber if I could.
If he also wants to parent trap.
No,
What about your brother? Can you parent trap with your brother?
Get out of here.
I'm gonna ask if I can be Harry Potter to his Ron Weasley since I'm an orphan.
Oh.
Of course, I just asked my parents to campus, and then my homie got murdered, so I need to go process that. Not here.
Well, I don't really
Okay.
have a good illusion.
Come to my shoe house. No, we live in a mansion.
No, you
Sorry,
can change
it's a
your
whole
spells
thing.
every day.
We have servants.
wanna-
It's kind of boring.
Go through the list.
What about just a wig there, fan?
I'm so weird. Yeah, I am definitely not cutting my hair. It's
Just a straight up wig.
Why don't y'all collab on it and
Okay.
tell us? We'll set aside some time next
Okay,
session
all right.
for y'all to tell us how the visit home went and what
Okay.
you did. Like, write it to your heart's content.
great.
Whoever does the British
What?
accent best wins.
Well,
I'll
it's
probably
certainly
stay
not me.
on campus over break and help Polynestra with campaign stuff, whatever she needs.
Okay.
I have class and you do.
I think OV probably does go home. I'll let him decide kind of next time, but I can't imagine that he wouldn't take that, especially if some people are going home. He has a pretty good home situation.
Yeah, I'm going home to mourn.
Oh, so am I like interfering then?
No, like you're like a nice reprieve.
Okay.
It's like his dad just got attacked at the Ministry of Magic, and you saw it happen, but you weren't like really there, and it was
Got
kind of
it.
like you that was doing it.
Yeah, hypothetically speaking. Of course.
All right, so you have your week away. You come back. There is a flurry of campaign activity that goes on throughout the week. You see all three candidates that are really contenders. Osmagad does whatever she does, but
Bless.
by and large, nobody's really talking about her. Witherbloom seems to be her only supporters on principle. But by and large, you do see, and Casimir is going all out. I mean, full on, anybody that wants to have a major dinner, he's throwing galas. I mean, every day he is giving away money, he is very popular, very charismatic, is calling in every favor he can. He also starts doing these little interviews with Shushu now that seal's been broken, talking about his platform. His platform is a little different, and it is similar in that he is not campaigning to leave campus. Jojira's pitch was, I'm going to stay and fix Strixhaven. And that's kind of his whole platform, what he's trying to run on. Casimir kind of piggybacks on that a little bit, but focuses more on money and his connections and being able to bring in resources to Strixhaven to take every campus to the next level. Bigger buildings, more resources, more jewels, more spell components. Everybody would benefit. Quandrix, he goes and makes a pitch really to every single campus body to say, what do you want? I will find you a way to get that on campus. So everything about this is, I'm going to make your lives so much better because I'm going to advocate I'm going to put our campus on the map, basically. We're going to become a palace. Pelanistra, really, while campaigning doesn't appear to be her strong suit from the two other very charismatic gentlemen, she does carry that reassuring voice. She is quick. She doesn't talk specifically about any threats. However, she does talk about the deficiencies around Strixhaven that need to be addressed. Talking about some of the parlays that are probably time to revisit. To talk about, and she would, I think, concede even a little bit to Jordy's point of maybe some of these things are a little too strict. She'll mention, like, the murder of Yelvin Davo, I think she would capitalize on. Where Jojira wants nothing said about it, I think she would hold that up to things at Strixhaven are not okay. And we do need to address what is going on. So she is kind of piggybacking on that message, but she has by far the most holistic presentation. She has been in government, basically, in a way that the others haven't. She's the highest ranking member of the group. Dean Osmagad would be, I guess, her compatriot there, but she's been on campus the longest, has that. Those are their big cases. So you get to the day, we're running out. I want to kind of set the stage for how next session will start. It is the day to vote. It is the day before the founders will come to campus. And everybody has their voices told. Tomorrow, whoever wins this popular vote, all four candidates will be presented to the founder, but they will be notified of the popular vote, like how the vote went, for them to consider, almost as if another candidate is present. The founders will then have a chance to debate, and one of the hallmark traditions is that they debate in public. They will sit on stage with everyone watching and have the conversation. Whatever, they will come to a decision in that moment, and whatever they say is what happens as far as the Oracle goes. So,
and if any candidate wins the popular vote except for Jordy, then they will end up dead.
Hey, Jordy didn't kill him. Jordan didn't kill Yevon Davo.
People are about to wake up dead.
I feel like Obi would do some campaigning for like his house campus and like
Well, he is not a fan of Casimir, and Casimir is not a fan of his.
Yeah.
Which he would probably take Incendio's endorsement of another candidate very personally.
Good.
But you never see him break characters while he is campaigning. As far as everyone's concerned, he is wildly likable, and everyone is going to benefit a lot. Where Pelanistra and Joe Gyra are focusing more on change and cleaning house, Casimir's offer sounds like a utopia.
Yeah, like a fairy tale. Yeah.
All right, we'll pause there. So next week we'll do the announcement of who wins the election. I'll factor in some of the campaigning that you did, and we'll make that announcement, and then we'll see what the founders have to say. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Cool.